comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. I swear to God, working with fucking cunts is the worst thing you can possibly do. I'm talking specifically about Izzy Ali and fucking John Doerr. So my other podcast, the Oppression Chamber podcast, which you should all go listen to, which we've been doing now for fucking 4 years. No, it's got to be longer than that. Probably 4.5, almost 5 years. We've managed to do 89 episodes in almost 5 years. That's not entirely true. When we started, we did like 20 before we released any. Then we listened to them back and had to throw every single one of them out because they were absolute fucking garbage. Then when we finally started releasing, we got like 10 episodes out. We got up to about 20. And then we had to throw like 8 episodes out because one of the fucking dudes who was in a lot of the early episodes ended up being accused of fucking rape by like 3 girls. It was my fault he was even on the podcast in the first place. It's a long fucking story, but we had to throw out like half the episodes then as well. We took them down there in the bin. Then you had the Andrew Roberts period. Some might call them the golden years, where he pretty much every episode for 2 years joked about hitting women, and he eventually hit a woman. So there was turmoil during that period. We didn't really release a lot of episodes then. And then we brought Izzy Ali on board without realizing Izzy Ali is like the black version of Andrew Roberts. He's a complete fucking nut job as well. He's slightly more put together than fucking Roberts, but only just. And I think that's only just because he's like 10 years younger. So now Izzy's on board. I've completely left out the period where Anthony, the guy we actually started the podcast with, spent about fucking 6 months not wanting to do the podcast, and all of us fighting about fucking doing it and what we're going to do it about and fucking whatever. Those are the real early episodes of the Oppression Chamber podcast. You'll hear it. I think it's the first like 8 episodes. They suck. They do. For the love of God, do not listen to the first fucking 8-10 episodes of the Oppression Chamber. Not until you like it, at least. And it takes 5 episodes to like it. You're not going to like it after 1 episode. You've got to fucking go through 5 episodes. But once you've done 5 episodes, you'll probably end up liking the Oppression Chamber more than this podcast. I highly doubt it, but it's possible. So that's excluding the Anthony period. And during the Anthony period, we were like 50-50. We'd record 2 episodes and we'd release 1 because one of them would be so shit you couldn't release it. And sometimes we'd record 2 episodes and take like 20 minutes out of one and 20 minutes out of the other and combine them together to make one mediocre episode. So anyway, now we're at the Izzy Ali phase, and Izzy is like the flakiest cunt out. He'll turn up stoned, he'll forget, he'll fucking be late, he'll have some fucking shitty factory job that he just can't get out of. He'll be like, I can't miss work. Then 2 days later, he'll fucking have quit. Then he's like, I'll be free for a month. And then a week later, he'll have another shitty factory job. Can't do the podcast. So you're never in rhythm. Then I went to India, obviously. So we were doing a podcast like once every fucking 6 or 8 weeks then. No rhythm again. Then I moved to fucking Sydney. We're like, we'll just keep it going because the podcast is still good despite all this. Despite the fact we have never released an episode a week for 4 consecutive weeks, ever. In almost 5 years, we have not managed to get our shit together 4 weeks in a row. It hasn't happened. And despite that, and despite losing momentum every fucking fortnight, the numbers still go up. Not huge numbers, but fucking decent for what it is. So about 2 months ago, I said to the boys, listen, this podcast will be a success. We only have to do a couple of simple things. So far, we've done everything you could possibly do to fucking make this thing a failure, and it's still doing all right. It's still chugging along okay. If we just do these 2 simple things, we're half a chance here, it's going to fucking turn into a success. I'm like, all we need to do is do it every week. That's it. Consistently every week. I know with my podcast, Every day, every day, every day. People love the consistency. I don't know what it is. People are retarded. They just like it. I don't know. It's like an artifact of watching TV when you were growing up. Like 6:30 Simpsons every fucking Thursday night or whatever. It was actually every single night. So we need to do it every single fucking week. All right? Yeah, the boys are on board. I'm like, let's set a time, and that time's sacred. We do not fucking miss this time. It's 4:20. That's for Izzy because he likes smoking weed. 4:20 every Wednesday. And the boys are like, it's a sacred time. It's a sacred day. We're never going to miss. First week, both of them miss. The very first fucking sacred Wednesday, they both miss. It was more Dawes' fault than Izzy's, but fucking both missed. That's all right. We got it back on board the next week. Izzy went to Mecca, so we missed another 3 weeks. Then Daw went to fucking Christmas Island. We missed another month. And now we're back on track. So I'm like, every week, they're like, cool. And I'm like, the other thing we need to do is fucking promote it. Just share it on your social media so the people that already listen to it know it's coming out. That's all we fucking need to do. Just consistently do it and consistently let people know that we're doing it. Can we do that? It doesn't seem like a big ask. It's 2 things. We're doing the podcast anyway. Can we fucking just let people know we're doing it? And both of them are like hesitating, like, oh, I don't want to share it. I don't want like people to know I'm doing a podcast. I'm like, why the fuck are we doing it then? Tell me why we're doing it. Yeah, but I know people that might listen to it. I'm like, yeah, who gives a fuck? Yeah, let people you know listen to it and let them tell their friends that their friend does a fucking podcast and then they can tell theirs and that's how it spreads. That's how things work. But yeah, I don't know, the fucking Muslim community. Shut up, Izzy. And Dawes like, I'll share it on my Instagram, but not my Facebook. I'm like, why? He's like, I've said a lot of dodgy stuff on there. I'm worried some people might hear. I'm like, your dad and your sister know you've sucked dick, Daw. They assume you've guzzled cum a few times. Your whole persona reeks of I've been on my knees sucking dick. I swear to God, if the Oppression Chamber ever becomes like a fucking popular podcast, it will be the biggest fucking miracle that's ever occurred in entertainment history. Anyway, I fucking believe in it. I reckon it's a fucking great podcast now. I reckon like the last 15 episodes, it's clicking like fuck. Now people just need to fucking listen to it. Jesus fucking Christ, is it that much to ask to just post it to the like fucking 400 cunts you have on social media? You fucking idiots. Anyway, fucking go listen to the Oppression Chamber podcast. Go to Spotify, give it a rating. Follow the Oppression Chamber on Instagram. It's at the Oppression Chamber podcast. If you listened to it early on and you didn't like it, fucking give it 5 episodes of the latest episodes. Some of them are pretty fucking good. Anyway, that's the 3rd anyway I've fucking dropped. Anyway, that'll fucking do for tonight. If you're enjoying this podcast, share this podcast around. And I'll see you the fuck later.